what's authentic to you and what's real to you. As long as it's not performative, then there's nothing embarrassing about anyone's joy.
That's the best catch line of this whole thing, I think.
There's an article making the rounds at the moment that has everybody talking from all generations. It's fantastic. And I'm hoping today for you to unpack why it's caused such a stir. And I think it's because of the title that everyone's got their knickers in the twist, because they haven't actually gone on and read the article. But the title is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now? I was straight in as soon as I saw it. It's in Vogue and it's by Shante Joseph, and it got people upset because, well, it's not what the headline says at all. It's more of an exploration that's not actually based on what you think it is, i.e. decentering men. It's about simply asking why young women in heterosexual relationships are no longer posting boyfriend content. They used to do a lot more boyfriend content than they do these days. And look, if it was up to me, I'd just say because they've got cats and cats are far more interesting, and dogs to post on socials. But I'm too old. It's not my world. I don't wade in that pool anymore. So I thought I'd get somebody who does, who actually creates work that helps people in Gen Z to navigate their lives. And she's a friend of the show. She was on in the early days of the moment and I adore her. Jemma Speg, welcome. Hello.
I'm so glad to be back. I love this podcast. It's one of my favorites to come on, I think.
Thank you. That's fantastic. Well, you're always welcome because, as I said, I can't really wade in that pool. I don't know what's going on in people who are in their 20s, but this is obviously very relevant to them because it's kicked off like nothing else. So can you tell me what's going on?
Okay. So for those of you who haven't read the article, I love what you said, Myf. Like, the headline is catchy as. But really what she's talking about is how people are pivoting away from, as you said, making content, posting about their boyfriends. If like your online presence is a snapshot of your identity, there are a lot of women out there who have long-term partners, husbands, and you would not be able to tell. The question she poses is it embarrassing to admit it? Does it ruin, not so much your brand, but your identity? Does it ruin the content that you're making, especially if you're an influencer or someone like that, to be posting about your relationship? I love this article because this is something that I do. Not consciously, unconsciously. I have a partner, a long-term partner of 3 years. I think I have one photo of me and him up on Instagram.
Yeah, I saw that actually, and that was the one I saw you he had a hat over his face. Is that the one? Was that you? Yeah. And see, that's not shocking to me because I don't think I've ever really posted partners on social media, mostly because I think as you get older you realise relationships end, and not all. I don't want to be negative, but that it's almost as if they are part of your life, but it's not that part that they have to be there in a performative way, I guess. I don't know. But then I think some of them have thought I was a bit mean for not posting them either, not acknowledging them. It's just never felt right. So why for you?
I think for me, my main thing was that I have gotten to a point in my career where I realized that I don't have a public image, but I have a publicly accessible image. And I'm just like, for me, my boyfriend has a very big boy real job. He's a lawyer and he does big cases and settlements, and it's like I don't want his clients to be like, hey, by the way, like I saw like a photo of you shirtless on your girlfriend's Instagram yesterday, or like I don't know, I wouldn't want someone to be able to look him up and the first thing that would come up would be him in relation to me rather than him in relation to himself. And I also just feel like he is a separate universe for me. And like outside. This is my world. Yeah. Like I always say this is like your partner cannot be your whole world. They are a separate universe. My world is my world, right? Like what I build online, what I post online, like is mainly about me and me only. People may be listening to that and being like, wow, that's quite narcissistic. It's very selfish. Like, isn't your partner part of your world? But like, no, this is the way I'm posting. Like, this is a business and
it's work,
this is
isn't
a brand.
It?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how I've always felt. Yeah. It's about us personally, but online on social media for me, it is very much a place where I do work things, and some of them might not want my world opened up to them. You know, like I have lots of people that write all sorts of things on my social media. I would hate that, you know, if I was a partner of somebody to be dragged in, as you said, into your universe in that way. What's changed for young women then, do you think?
So I think like I can talk about my personal circumstances till the sun goes down, but really what it is, I think for women in general, especially of like women who are like 19 to let's say 35, is that being single is cool. Like being single is sexy. Being single shows that you have like truly embraced independence and womanhood in a way that like previous generations weren't allowed to or weren't able to. Two things can be true at the same time, right? It doesn't diminish people who are in relationships. When I like hear my friends who are single be like, being single is cool, I don't think they're calling me lame. What we're really saying is like we have reclaimed this thing that previously was kind of thrown at women to get them to enter relationships, right? Like you're going to end up alone. You're going to be miserable. You're a spinster, crazy cat lady. Like if you don't have, I love that. Like if you don't have somebody, like you are losing out. And I think there's been this real resurgence of like, actually, we're probably winning. There's a very famous study that people talk about that says the happiest people in the world are single women over the age of 60. If you're more aligned with that, like it is like a really cool moment. And I also think that given the state of dating at the moment, it's rough out there. I feel very lucky to have met somebody who I've never had to tell to call his mum on his birthday. I've never had to ask him to do dishes. In fact, he does the majority of the domestic labor in my house. You know, like there's just things I'm not his parent, I am his partner. But if you're a woman, and you will know this, Myf, like most women can't say the same. And in fact, I would say the majority of them have had experiences where they've really had to perhaps guide, baby, support a man in a way that a man would probably never have to teach them. And so posting a boyfriend online is, I think for some women is like, he better be really good. Otherwise there is an admittance that like you've given up a really great single life for somebody who you may have to teach how to iron their shirt. Yeah. That kind of like equation, if you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely. I know what you mean. Well, it is embarrassing in that sense if you do have to lower your standards in order to just be in a relationship because you feel like you'd rather be in a relationship than be alone. And I think this is a real moment for young women, the realisation at an earlier age, which I wish I'd worked out decades earlier, that you can be alone and not lonely. And I think that's really huge, and you don't have to have a partner to be whole. I grew up with women from the boomer generation who are on the tail end of having to marry in order to survive, essentially, because you couldn't get a bank account in your own name. You couldn't take out a mortgage. You had to be married. So I think there's a lot of hangover in my generation, whereas I feel like your generation is learning this a lot earlier. And I'm just so excited for what young women can achieve because of it. Not saying that men hold them back necessarily, but the world is your oyster because you don't have to commit to those traditional norms. And there is something in that, isn't it? It's societal norms that we're pushing back against as well.
Not the men. Like this is the thing that I feel I have to say every time I have these conversations. I'm not sitting here being like, having a boyfriend is embarrassing because men are embarrassing and I don't want anything to do with that. No, it's this idea of like submitting to a system, doesn't matter who it is, that actually may not better you. And having the whims and the whereabouts to say like, I'm going to wait until I find someone who's really amazing, or maybe I won't ever find somebody who's really amazing and I will still be happy. And like I will still be, it just gets actually very complex very quickly. Like this, I think that's why this article was so popular, because then it gets into things like the male loneliness epidemic, and then it gets into ideas of like, you know, how women spend their time and how they spend their money as their power. And dating a man might not hold you back, but obsessively thinking about whether someone's going to choose you definitely does. And it wastes your time and it wastes your energy, especially when you're in your 20s and 30s or any age really, and you've just got so much to give. How would you give it to somebody who might not really deserve you? Anyway, it gets very complex. I feel like we could talk about this for like an hour.
How do you feel it is out there with your friends? I'm sure you've all brought this article up and chatted about it. What is the general vibe for friends in your social circle about ideas like this?
So funny. I went on a walk with my girlfriends this morning and I said, I'm going to go do this interview and what do you guys think about it? And it was like split. One of my friends was like, I would never post somebody until I am engaged, until like they are, like we are married, and even then maybe not because I want to keep it private. And another one of my friends was like, she is very, very single and she was like, well, you know, when I get a boyfriend, like sometimes I really think about how nice it would be to post the stuff that we do together. And it was just very interesting how people have different perspectives on it based on just like how they see the men in their lives and how they see their previous situations. Like the friend who was like, I'm not going to post somebody who is until I'm engaged, like recently broken up with, having a terrible time. The friend of mine who was like, yeah, no, I really want to, is like suddenly in this really optimistic stage of dating. She's just started like freshly dating somebody. So like, I really do think your interpretation of the article as well comes from where you're at. Same with my interpretation of like, I know that my boyfriend is not an embarrassing person. In fact, I really do believe he's like cream of the crop, everything I could ask for. But I'm still not going to post it because it's mine and it doesn't necessarily align with like the conversations I want to have. Like he is not a pillar of my brand. He is not a pillar of the story that I'm trying to tell.
Yeah, yeah. And if he was, you could actually put that on something private, perhaps, for your friends only. Is that the way out of this, or is that what people are doing?
Yeah, they post it or they do faceless. Like that's what I do. Like I don't think you would really know what he looks like. Maybe if you like saw a photo of him on stories, but probably not. There was this interesting part of this article where she references a full-on wedding video where the person has kept her boyfriend's face, husband's face is completely invisible. So it looks like she's just getting married. Like it could be a stock image, her getting married to some stranger.
She's like, planning for the future. That's all I'm going to say, Jemma.
I know. Well, Myf, have you seen those people who literally have couples accounts and their whole brand and like the way they make money is just them in a relationship? Can you imagine what that would do to the anatomy of your relationship?
Oh, well, it becomes something that's so intertwined. I imagine there's levels of codependency there that are very uncomfortable for not just them, but everybody around them as well.
Oh my gosh. And imagine you're like fighting and you have to be like, am I being filmed? Like, is there a prank going on? You know what I mean? Like it would just make everything, the line between distinguishing like what was a bit and what was for others and what was for you would also become very hard to delineate. I don't know.
Well, that's interesting. So where to from here though? If young women aren't necessarily posting their partners anymore, and also they're not celebrating necessarily being chosen to be in a relationship. Like a relationship's not necessarily seen as an achievement these days, which we have other things to celebrate. So how do we celebrate, I guess, what makes us happy if it is a partner? What's the way around it for, say, your friend who wants to do that? Is there a good way of doing it without it being embarrassing for everyone involved?
See, I still, no matter how much we talk about, I don't even personally think it's embarrassing. Like it's also this weird thing where that content does do well. And like people do want to know what's happening in your life. And I just think do it the way that you want to do it. And relationships, much like clothes, how we interact with them, how we engage with them is also trendified nowadays, which gets very existential and very like sci-fi to think about. So just do what you want to do. Like if my friend posted her engagement photos the other day and I think like 3 of us like reposted those photos and we're like, wow, like look at this, like so happy for them. And then, you know, that's another friend of ours. Or like me, like I don't post my boyfriend, but it doesn't mean that, you know, I'm not obsessed with him and in love with him and we don't have a great like little family with our dog going on. Like it's just absolutely up to you.
Yeah, that's gorgeous and I love that. But you're right, it's what's authentic to you and what's real to you. As long as it's not performative, then there's nothing embarrassing about anyone's joy.
That's the best catch line of this whole thing, I think.
Yeah, do what you want. Do what you want. I love that. I love that. Do you think, though, this is going to change the way people accept the societal norms of what's expected from women?
100%. And I'm actually so excited for that because I remember being 19 and being on Tinder and being like, I need a boyfriend.
Oh.
Hurry up, chop, chop. I need a boyfriend. Like, I need to have a serious boyfriend now. I ended up dating somebody that I didn't even really like that much. And we weren't compatible. And like, he was a really great guy. But like, I was just like, why did I spend 2 years of my life with you when I was like 19 and 20? Like, there was so much fun to be had. And I also think that hopefully we have fewer situations where, you know, you see women who are in their 40s who married the wrong person, who just will never leave, who can't leave, or who feel like a failure for saying like, my marriage didn't work out. It's like that. Obviously nobody wants that to happen, but it's not a shameful thing if it does. And it's not a shameful thing to be like, actually partnership isn't a priority for me. How much like free time would you have if that was the case? Like, thinking again about me at 19 and then me again at 23, like, so much time spent, so many obsessions had. And I could have been doing so much other stuff. I could have been making money. I could have been hustling. I could have been making friends. Like,
Exactly. And I think once those expectations and norms start to fall away, that young women will find themselves in a position where they go, oh, what can I do with all this possibility and all this time now? And I love that for them. I really do. And I genuinely wish I'd grown up in your generation now, because I think, I look back sometimes. I don't regret the past in any way, but a lot of time was wasted on stuff that wasn't worth it.
Yeah. Wait, Myf, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you dating anyone at the moment?
No. Recently single, but I think this is the last time I even attempt to do relationships. I think it's okay, but I think that's okay. Like, I genuinely think I've spent a lifetime worrying about relationships and why they don't seem to work for me. And now I'm like, I'm actually quite cool with the fact that might be the thing, that they don't work for me, and who am I without it? And that's a whole new level of exploration that I've got in front of me. And that's exciting. Like, it's actually exciting.
Yeah.
And to exist without the worry of, you know, someone thinking I'm attractive or someone thinking I'm a person for them. It's like, no, I just actually want to find out who I am now. That'll be great. Thank you.
Well, that makes my next question a little bit harder, which was going to be, if somebody was to find you, would you post them online?
No.
If it was the love of your life, no, you wouldn't.
Oh, look, maybe eventually, a couple of years down the track, but I think I don't want to open up my world for them to have to navigate what I navigate online each day. I think that's what I was trying to say before. I think it's for the uninitiated, or for those people who don't live in this world, it can be quite confronting, I think. So out of respect for them, I probably wouldn't. However, I don't know. I haven't thought about it, to be honest. But I in the past, I haven't done it necessarily. In the early days of social media, I did a bit more, but in probably the last 10 years or so, I really haven't done much of that, and I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to delete anything.
You don't have to delete anything. Yeah, I had to really purge after my last breakup. I was like, damn, girl, everything was about that man. So now I have a better perspective on it.
Well, good, and I'm glad for you. And I'm glad for this article, because I think it's thought-provoking, and it's not what the title suggests. It's actually more about questioning societal norms and systems that we've lived with, and what's next for everybody involved. And I don't know, I'm really interested in that. And I love what you've offered up today, Jemma. Thank you so much. You're very wise.
Oh, thank you. I feel like you bring out the best in me. You ask such great questions.
Oh, I feel like an old lady sometimes. Help an old lady out.
Oh, really? No, I don't think of you that way.
Yeah, when it comes to this stuff though, I feel completely out of my depth when it comes to younger folks' relationships. I guess because I bring with it a bit of cynicism now, so I need you to help me navigate.
Fair enough.
The positivity and the optimism that can
I'm glad I can help you.
Yeah, you're the best. Jemma, thank you so much. And if people want to check out Jemma's Instagram, she's got a book as well, which is amazing. It's called Person in Progress. But on Instagram, you've got a couple of accounts there, haven't you? It's
That Psychology podcast, The Psychology of Your 20s, is the place to find me if you want more kind of like discussions like this. We talk about this a lot, actually.
Yeah, brilliant. Jemma, thank you.
Thanks.
This is an MIK made production recorded on Wurundjeri land. Always was and always will be Aboriginal land.